Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Collective Code. I am thrilled to have an amazing guest here today. I've followed her journey for some years now. I can't wait for you guys to meet her, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what type of knowledge she's going to give us today. Today's guest is someone you need to hear, not because of numbers, but because of what those numbers cost her. Her name is Himiko Sadiki. She's been in real estate for over 2 decades. She's closed more than $356 million in sales. She operates in Frisco, Texas, and the Francisco Bay Area. But none of that is why this conversation matters. Himiko didn't enter this industry because she saw money. She entered it because she once trusted the wrong people and walked out of a closing $150,000 upside down. And instead of walking away bitter, she made a decision that would define her entire career to become a crusader for the people who don't know what they don't know. During the 2008 crash, while still serving clients, she stood in the line for food stamps. Later, she shared the story publicly. From food stamps to homeownership, and everything changed. Not because of branding, not because of marketing, but because people felt the truth. Himiko is known for something rare in this industry: integrity before income, people over profits. She's given away tens of thousands of dollars of her own commission just to make sure a client could win the home they dream of. Today, through her company, Automate Your Real Estate, she helps agents expand into new markets without losing their commissions, building leverage without sacrificing values. So if you believe real estate can be more than transactions, if you believe success should be measured in impact, not ego, and if you're ever felt like your hardest moments might still have a purpose, this conversation is for you. Please help me welcome my guest, Himiko Sadiki.
Well, thank you. That was a amazing intro. Like, I feel honored. I feel like I should take a bow.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
I mean, it's all true. It's all
Yeah,
true.
that's the journey.
That's
Yeah.
the journey, and kind of reading that about you, I was like, wow, it's just really interesting to hear people's journey, because of course, like I have my own journey, and it's like, we don't look like what we've been through, right? Like, it's
Man.
like, you see that's
Come
like,
on now.
you think, oh, this is the end product, but man, it was a lot to get there. So I was really
Yeah.
actually seriously inspired by your journey. That's why I wanted to make sure I gave your intro as much due diligence as I possibly could.
Yeah, you did phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm going to need that for later.
Yeah, you do. So definitely we're going to have a conversation, but I do have some questions I want to ask. And I definitely want to start off with, you didn't come into real estate chasing money. You came in because you were once the person who didn't know what you didn't know. Take me back to a moment. What actually happened to you, and what did it cost you emotionally?
Ooh, so that's good. I think my journey started like many buyers, right? Like,
Yeah.
I was 26 years old. I was having my first child. I didn't want to live in an apartment. I wanted to live in a house. So I was married. We had just gotten married, and we were buying a property. And I didn't know anything about real estate.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he had already purchased a townhouse before. So as a wife, what do? Oh, honey, you figure that out.
just-
Let me just pick out the house.
Right.
And we
right.
experience that all the time. And so when we went into the home buying journey, that's how I had started real estate. And then I wanted to go from that and then buy investment. And so it was me at the time, my husband at the time, my sister and her husband, and we decided to make an investment in Atlanta.
Okay.
And when we were making this investment in Atlanta, we had found this person. They looked like me, and the lender looked like me. And so immediately that gave me safety and
Right. You
trust.
felt right. Yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't realize not everybody operates in integrity. I just looked like, oh, they sounded like they cared about what I was looking for.
Right.
They were helping real estate investors in California. They were in Atlanta. And to everybody, California people have a ton of money. So
Yeah.
that's what
yeah.
exactly. So we went in and we bought the property and we closed on it. And when we closed on it, I flew out there after the deal was done. And as I'm driving into the community, there was this sign that said houses for 250,000. I
Okay.
had just closed at 350.
Okay.
350.
In the same neighborhood.
It was the neighborhood.
Wow. Okay.
So as I'm driving through, I'm going to get inquisitive at that point. Now I see a guy outside with his lawnmower, and I stop him and I say, "Excuse me, sir, can I ask you a question? What are these houses going for?" And then he told me, "Oh, this one by the lake is 275. This one's 250. That one's 225." And in that moment, I realized we were upside down.
Wow.
Severely.
Yeah.
So then I had contacted the police department, because you know how we women are, we get into our crusader mode. They said, we can't help you. And then they sent me they said the FBI, you'd have to call them. And then that's when I found out I was one of 25 people that they had done this to. And I got angry.
Were they able to do anything about it, or was it kind of just, it is what it is now since you purchased the house?
It was kind of one of those things. It is what it is.
Okay.
But I didn't know how to advocate for myself either.
Right.
Because I didn't know anybody in the industry. I depended on them, and I didn't know what to do next. So my next move was, I'm going to get my license. I'm going to help people. And that's how my journey started. I didn't know about money. I didn't know about the commission. I just knew that I was angry with them for hurting us financially the way that they did. Because at that point, we had to foreclose on it because we could not find a tenant to cover the mortgage.
Right, because of course, because the rental comps wouldn't match then.
The rental comps would not match. They had said that they were going to get a renter in there, all of the things, and it sounded great. And anyway, at the end of the day, we ended up, and unfortunately, it was in my sister and her husband's name at that time, and we just put the money in with them, and we were going to do the next property, and that's how it ended up.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, that's a crazy story. I mean, I can see how that would be motivating to want to help others not experience that same. So you wanted to purchase investment property in Atlanta, but you were still living in California.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So yeah, tell us about, you were in California. What brought you to Texas? Because now you're here in Texas, and I see you doing. I mean, and to be honest with you, just from seeing, you got so much stuff that comes on social media, so it's hard to kind of like, especially when you have a lot of followers and stuff. The algorithm be algorithm, and sometimes it doesn't what I do, right? So you miss a lot of people's stuff.
Yeah.
But so I have seen, it seems like you really just like nothing happened. Like you went from California and came to Texas, and you just kind of plugged right into Texas, kind of doing your, you with your business.
Yeah.
But I'm just really curious, what brought you to Texas?
That's an excellent question, and it's a story behind that. In real estate, a lot of times we're asked for our commission.
Yeah.
And so I had one of many clients ask me for my commission. It was a really stressful day. I was going through a divorce at the time, and I love transparency, so I'm going to be very open in this conversation.
That's what we are on this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going through this divorce. I'm stressed out with my kids are young. My daughter's crying, and I just need a moment. Yeah. So I decided to go on the 6-mile run. And as I was going on this 6-mile run.
Now, were you running regularly at that point or no?
This is about, yes, I was running consistently at this point. And I was just like, God, I'm so tired. I don't know what you want from me. So that happens. And then now I'm showing, now the next day comes and I'm in my car and I'm driving. I just finished showing property in Oakland, California. And I was like, God, and again, I'm in that space like, God, please help me. Just give me guidance. Yeah. And he said, move to Dallas. And I'm driving down out the blue, and I'm like, move to Dallas. I lived in California my entire life and never thought of leaving. So I was thinking, okay, now I'm hearing things.
Gotta do that.
He'll do that. I'm hearing things. So that was in April of 2021. And then my kids were going to their dad's house in Florida in July. So I had decided, you know what, I'm going to come to Texas, and I'm going to see if God was really talking to me. So I get on the plane, and as I get on the plane, it was July 8th, I think was the date. I don't remember exactly. But anyway, it was in July. I get on the plane, and as I'm flying here, we're getting ready to land, I go into prayer, and I said, God, please tell me if this is you talking to me or if this is me just talking to myself. I don't know. We will test him sometimes. And in my testing him, I said, well, show me a red car, at least, so I know that I'm not talking to me. Yeah. And then I went into doubt in that moment. As the plane was coming down, I said, no, don't show me no red car, because you ain't going to show me no red car. God in my spirit said, stick with red car. And I said, okay. And I'm getting off the plane, and I go to Avis Rental Car. I did not drive a red car, but there's a sea of red cars. I said, oh, you got to be. And I took a picture, because, Dan, I know you ain't going to believe me. Yes.
No, I've had enough experiences to believe you. Trust me, those type of experiences to believe you.
Yeah.
So 100%, yeah.
So, and I'm looking at all these red cars, and I was talking to a friend on the phone. I said, you've got to be kidding me. And I took a photo.
Wow.
And then that night, a friend of mine flips houses out here, him and his wife. So I went and met them for dinner. And as I went to go meet them for dinner, he's staring at me like you are right now. And I said, why are you looking at me like that? He said, because I drive a red car. I said, get out of here. I got up. I said, I got to go take a picture. And I went outside and I took a photo. And that is when I knew that this is where God had me.
Yeah.
I didn't know anywhere to live. I didn't even know nothing about Frisco, none of it. That's actually how I came upon your podcast, to be honest with you.
Oh, how was that? Like
searching YouTube for like places
okay,
to live. And
yeah. Oh, the YouTube channel. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the that's the client-facing YouTube channel. And I have a podcast that's separate from that. But yeah, okay. Yeah.
So that's how
awesome.
I had come to learn about you and like all the high-end houses and all the things. But that is how I ended up here because God sent me. And then I tested him one more time. I was like, oh, you can't be really telling me to do this. So I got home in July, put my house on the market on a Saturday. As a realtor, who puts their house on the market on a Saturday?
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, I guess I'd usually they say it's best to do it on Thursdays here,
I put it on
but
Saturday.
You do it on Saturday. Okay, well.
It's 2021, so you know what time it is. It's COVID time.
Yeah,
so I put the house on the market, and I said it was worth $950,000.
Okay.
I said, God, if you really, and I tested him. I said, if you really want me to move, sell it for $1.1 million. That's what I told him. Mm-hmm. I had so many people in my house from Saturday after 12 and Sundays open house, and I had 2 offers for $1.1 million.
Wow.
Ready to close in 6 days. I said, oh, you really want me
out
of here?
You said 6 days?
6 days.
Wow.
Well, Wells Fargo.
Quick.
Wells Fargo loan. Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, loans don't close that quick.
No way. Yeah, that's what's like. Unless that's what I was going to ask you. Was it a cash deal or?
No, it was a loan.
Wow.
And appraisal and everything was done in 6 days, and they were ready.
That's crazy.
That was the story of how I ended
with
up in
Wells
Texas.
Fargo.
Wells Fargo.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was an underwriter for Chase and Wells Fargo for about 5 years, and that's like almost heard of. Yeah. That's almost unheard of. Yeah. So that was definitely God.
Absolutely. I was like, oh, you really want me gone. And so that's what ended up happening, and that's how I ended up here.
Wow. I definitely want to touch on some of your experiences. I know you said you once gave $20,000 of your own commission so a client could get a home they wanted. Walk me through that decision. Like what did that moment reveal about who you really are? Like, what's going on to your head because I mean, I know what it feels like to do that, but I do know a lot of realtors just don't have that much compassion to give sometimes like any of their commission, you know, to make a deal work or to really have that abundance mindset. So I'm just really curious to hear about that story and kind of what drove you to do that. Yeah.
So this client this is actually last year.
Yeah.
That 20,000. Mm-hmm. They had gotten a house. We had gotten into contract. It was a new construction. They were building it. And as he was building it, Trump had announced that they were going to be doing some work stuff, furloughing with anybody that worked. And so he worked for the government.
So very recent. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he was stressed out and stopped the deal. So he canceled the contract with the builder. Mm. The builder took the house and put it back on the market as it was already done. This is actually a Perry home. Okay. And they put it back on the market and they raised the price, $20,000. They actually, and then he found out that he was going to be able to keep his job. And he came back and said, I want to go back and buy the house, but I want to look at some other stuff too. So we looked at some other stuff and it didn't look nothing like the house that he had built. Mm-hmm. So we get there and they said that they had raised the price, but they also had put a bonus on that house of $20,000.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he said, if they're not going to bring the price down to what I want it to be, which is the original price, then I'm not going to do it. And I'll just have to figure something out. Mm-hmm. But I knew his heart really wanted that house.
Right.
So I said, take the bonus. I didn't tell him that. I went to the office and I said, look, take the bonus. Tell the ownership, take my bonus, apply it to that, bring the price down so he can get what he wants.
Yeah.
The end of the day, the goal is to serve.
It's to serve, right.
Money will come.
Yeah.
It always does.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did because I knew where his heart was at. And my concern is for the people, not for myself.
Right.
So that was that situation.
No, it says a lot. I mean, because I've seen that amongst other realtors where I'm like, listen, this is where we're short at. This is where we're not, seeing eye to eye. Let's meet each other. Like, hey, your client won't do this. My client can't come down for whatever reason, whether they may not have enough equity or whatever. Hey, let's give. I've done that quite a few times. Hey, I'm willing to do 5. Well, meet me 5. Like,
meet me somewhere.
It's my listing. I got it at 6. Like, so you're getting half of my commission anyway because it's really 6% is the listing commission. We're sharing that.
Yeah.
I mean, that says a lot because a lot of realtors would not be willing to do that.
Yeah.
So
I
it
didn't
really
want
does.
him to know about it.
That's
I wanted
good.
him
Yeah,
to make
yeah.
it. My concern was for him. So
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Just, I mean, of course, going through and just reading your, just your history of your career. I know you said branding is integrity and people over profits in an industry that often rewards shortcuts and optics. What does integrity actually look like when it costs you something?
Integrity looks like explaining stuff to people from the beginning,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
If you tell people what to expect, there's a piece in that. That means you have their best interest.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, agents won't tell you that there's a bonus on the backside. They won't tell you what you need to do to get
Right.
yourself in position. They won't tell you
Yeah.
those things about when you're getting a loan rebate. You know about rebate when you're
Yep.
doing a loan.
Yep.
That means if the interest rate is X and they're paying the the lender's paying back X amount of dollars for you, the lender, to get paid.
Right.
Like, explain that to me.
Mm-hmm,
I can get a lower interest rate, but you're going to get less money. Like, explain those things. So operating integrity is one, I think. I think it's important to get a real estate agent that knows how to do loans.
Yes, yes, that is important. To
Yeah.
know that. 'Cause that's where my real estate career started. I was a loan officer for 10 years.
Oh, you started there.
I started when don't hold this against me, in the AmeriQuest days. I didn't know, but I started in the AmeriQuest days, and then of course Countrywide and Nation Star and stuff like that. And then I thought the next stage was underwriting, which I hated that. I did it for 5 years because I'm thinking, okay, I'm making decent money, and then I worked hard. I got the office. This is where I'm supposed to be, and then
I can't see you behind the
this
desk.
no. I always did entrepreneurs. So I always had a business going,
Yeah.
and I just was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons why I became a realtor. But yeah, we'll continue. You were saying.
Yeah, so integrity
Yeah.
looks like explaining the
Yeah.
process and being clear about what it is, and
Right.
then letting a person make the decision for themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely.
One of the things that I do a lot, not only on my channels but on my social medias, I teach the process.
You do that. What you make sure that what? Just give up. We're gonna put it on the caption, but give your shout out to your socials.
Yeah, it's
So you
Himiko Sadiki across the board.
Yeah, yeah. We'll make sure we put it in the script. And I wanted to just make sure that everyone goes to the description and actually follows, because you do have a gift for teaching. Like, that is one thing that you definitely do very, very well. Making it very plain to understand. Not everybody has that gift. Some people teach and it's like, okay, this is complicated. Like, I can't really
Right.
understand what you're talking about. But
Yeah.
you do have a gift of teaching for sure. Most of I've seen, like I said, okay, of course, knowing the industry, I can tell if somebody's overcomplicating it or making it simple. And yeah, you do a very good job at that.
Thank
So
you.
definitely go look in the descriptions and follow.
I like to teach because of my experience was I didn't understand it. That's why I gave it to when I was married to my husband at that time, because
Right.
I didn't understand it. So if somebody
Right.
could have explained it to me to where it's like, oh, and it just clicks, then I think we wouldn't have been in that situation.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why
yeah.
I like to teach.
Yeah. I think that plays into the next question I wanted to ask you. Earlier in your career, you joined a brokerage that promised education but left you figuring it out alone. What did that season teach you about self-reliance and leadership?
So I had started with a company called ACG. ACG was like an MLM for loan officers and real estate. And so essentially what we did was we got people those NEGAM loans, pulled out equity, and then we'd go buy another house with them. So we were the loan officer and we were the real estate agent.
Gotcha.
And I was supposed to get my training through them. And they were so busy worried about the MLM side of the more people you have working for you, the more commission you'll get, that I didn't get no training.
Right.
So my training was my crash course in writing an offer, messing it up, and the real estate agent on the other side correcting me. And I'm like, oh, my assistant missed that.
Yeah.
I was the assistant.
You was the assistant, right?
I mean,
yeah.
they were my mentors, and they didn't even know it.
Yeah.
But that was my journey.
Yeah.
It was being with them and starting out doing loans, and then realizing I don't like behind the stage.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
am let me help the people in the front.
Yeah, that's definitely you. Definitely, that's definitely your gift. So, yeah, I have kind of similar situation as well. And one of the reasons why I decided to do this podcast, where a lot of realtors have asked, how are you selling the higher priced homes? And I went to a luxury brokerage thinking that they would give me, the blueprint on how to
Right.
get into, I'm doing 300, 400, 500, maybe 600 here and there. I'm like, how are you close $1 million, $2 million? Like, how is this happening? Like, how can I break into that? I don't have a bunch of friends that own these type of homes.
Right.
And so that's one of the reasons why we do this podcast and give out a lot of information for those that are looking to, level up in the type of clients and service they give. So
how did you transition?
YouTube.
Oh, YouTube.
In short, yeah. Long story short, I watching like NSU Miser and Ryan Serhant, Josh Flagg, all those guys, and I was like, you know what? I got a little swag. I know a lot about houses.
Right.
I mean, I'm very comfortable with the process, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna act as if for a year and see what happens, and just act as if like, not fake the funk, but truly act as if like this is what I do. And I started with the phone, and then it grew to cameras, and it grew to drones and podcasts, and it just kept growing and growing. And but yeah, really just acting as if and putting myself in front of the type of homes that I wanted to sell, and it started to attract clients. Plain and simple, yeah.
So I trained with Frederick Eckerlin.
From
the show that Serhant was on for 3 days in New York City.
Yeah.
That's when I started to transition because he gave me clear understanding of staging houses and stuff like that. So that was an amazing experience. So
yeah.
I could see how you'd watch that, and that was like training camp for you.
Yeah, it's yeah, it really was. I mean, I watched a lot of realtors that did all type of tours, and I was like, I think I could do that. Start with a cell phone, and then it just grew from there, being consistent. So
I think you're the first person I ever saw open a refrigerator, get some water out, and go sit on the couch. And I was like, I'm taking that. I'm doing that.
Yeah. Just trying to give people the idea of how it is to live in the house,
And let me drive in the garage, roll it down, and I'm gonna walk up the stairs. I was like, oh, all of that. Yes.
I got quite a few many questions I want to ask you, but this is I'm trying to pick the ones that I really have been standing out. You said you were proud of the service you've given, not the award. So if success isn't money or recognition, what does success mean to you now?
To be honest, it's funny that you asked that because I actually. The brokerage I'm in, there's 200 agents. I was the top agent. I didn't even know. And you know why?
I'm not surprised.
I didn't look down. I wasn't looking at the money. I wasn't looking at the numbers.
Right.
I wasn't competing with anybody. I was just serving.
Yeah.
And so give me the question again because I want to make sure.
Yeah. And what does success mean to you now?
I think success for me is when I share something with someone, a client, and they go do it and they execute and they win in the end.
Nice.
That feeds my soul.
Yeah.
Money doesn't feed my soul anymore.
You know what?
Watching you do the thing.
You know what? You are 100% right. It's crazy to say this because my younger self was very driven by the money.
Yeah.
I was very driven by the money.
Yeah.
And there was a time where I was relatively young, from 28 to before I turned 30, where I made the most money I've ever made in my life. I'm thinking, oh man, when you see things happen, you're like, I'm gonna be a millionaire. Like this is happening. It didn't happen, and now I know why God did not allow it to happen.
Yep.
Because I wasn't just a good steward of the money at that time.
Honey, I know.
So I was not a good steward. You know what I mean?
I was like, everywhere you want to be.
Right.
It.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now I know why I said, okay, you let me know that I have the potential, but you're not ready. Like you need to sit yourself down. So I definitely understand that, but it's just really more about really seeing people leveling up their lives from your experiences, from the opportunities you've given them. Like now that seems to fuel me more, and more money seems to come when I'm not so focused on the money. You know what I mean? So yeah, I totally get that. I want to briefly talk about automate your real estate. Can you kind of, because I know a little bit about it. I mean, from what you've told and the meetings we've had, but I really think it's a really good product. You want to kind of talk about that a little bit?
So Automate Your Real Estate is it's one company with 3 applications. But the one that is most relevant to you and I is Partner Pro.
Yeah.
Partner Pro allows us to expand our business wherever we are. Meaning, I live here in Dallas. I have a client down in Houston. I have another one down in California. I can't be in both places at one time.
Right. You would have to refer.
And I'd have to refer it out. And my issue with referring it out is people don't service our clients the same.
That's true.
So the app will allow you to still serve your clients. They can search for property just like they do Realtor, Zillow.com, or even our websites. So they can search on our app. They can make an appointment that's convenient for them on our app and make an offer that you review. And then it sends it over to the transaction coordinator. She writes the offer for you in your zip forms, sends it out, and you manage the deal from here, or you could be on vacation or whatever.
So for those of you, the reason why I like that idea is because it really opens up the opportunities to do content any and everywhere.
Yep.
Which I love. It's plenty of people to service here in Frisco. Like Frisco, the north suburb of Dallas, there's plenty of money here. There's plenty of people to help. But especially with informational content, when you talk about different cities, you only can talk about Frisco so many times. You only can talk about McKinney so many times. So once you talk about your area, it's like, okay, what else can I talk about? Unless you're giving just, general information to people. So I really do like that. That can really just position you in different markets, and you still can serve people. So I think that's an amazing idea. That's why I really want you to touch on that. Is there an idea of when that's going to be? I know these things take time. Trust me. I know these things take time. But is there any idea when this may be available for realtors? Yeah.
So we're beta testing right now. So we should be ready to launch end of February.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm cleaning it up because I just want to make sure. Like, I'm so anal. So
it takes time. These things take. That's why I said I know it takes time. Trust me.
I want to make sure that, hey, when your client makes an appointment, you know about it. Who's showing that house? I want you to know about it. So I'm making sure all the triggers, all of that stuff is going in the correct places. So we'll be launching at the end of February. We've been in development for 2 years.
Yeah.
So this is not been an overnight thing. This has been a 2-year process.
Yeah, I get it, because I think some people come into, I know things take time. I know people come like sometimes this podcast thinking it happened. This was like years in the making, from like a small, then growing, like it just keeps going. Like things take a while, and some of it's for that. I think you said you partnered with like Zillow and some other, right?
Yeah, so we're partnered with Zillow. We are partnered also with some other third parties that do our showings and stuff like that, because we're not only in our state, we're going to be in all 50 states.
Yeah,
and so that's what I think I want the audience to know. It's not like, it's a Dallas thing or a Texas thing. No, we cover all 50 states. Wow. And then we have the transaction coordinators in the background that will be here to serve you. Yeah. In your absence. Like if you're on vacation and you want to hey, I'm not going to review the offer, just send it to the TC, let them write the offer. So it's a human person that's writing the offer. It's not AI. It's a human person. AI is in there. Like it's in there,
but it's still managed by,
It is the humans that will be writing the offers.
That's good. Yeah.
And then helping to facilitate, and they'll be able to take phone calls and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's important. But what I want people to get is we do content now. How many people have come to you and said, I really want you to be my realtor, but I'm in San Antonio.
That's why, you know what? And so sorry, but you're right. Because when you first told me about it, I was like, you'd be busy and doing something. I'm like, okay, and then when you came, I think you told me about a second time. I was like, okay, I know Himiko. If she's doing something, it's gotta be legit. If she's coming to me, it's gotta be legit. So then I really gave it. I said, let me give it some time. Because the first time I heard, I was like, okay, because I respect what you do. Like anybody you got to respect what she does. Like you respect it.
Thank you.
But I was like, okay, well, I then took a little bit of time. I was like, okay, let me, listen to this. And then it clicked on the call.
Yeah.
It really, really clicked on the call. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This could have spanned, a lot of things. Agents. It could have spanned, of course, helping different clients. So it's definitely something you guys should look into. What we'll do is, I know it's going to be a while, so we'll have your information descriptions, and then I know it'll take a bit, but maybe we'll have a link to where they can get to it whenever it is available. And then come back to it or something like that.
The website is up right now. Automate Your Real Estate is
awesome.
up now.
Okay. Yeah.
But the app is not linked yet because we're still in production, or we're in beta right now, and then we'll be in production next.
Nice.
But yeah, I really want agents to get like you. Like, you're creating this great content and a person wants to use you, and you're thinking, God, I got to go find somebody from Yelp or Zillow to try to refer it to. Exactly. Because I don't service San Antonio or I don't service Houston. Now you don't have to get in your car and drive. You just, I'll send you my app and I'll still be your agent.
And you can because I was going on my mind, like, man, I can now say on my videos, hey, I can service you in all 50 states. Like, it's a whole different
ball game. All over Texas.
All over Texas, all over Texas. What are some of your, in regards to real estate, what are some of your personal goals for 2026?
2026, I am, again, my focus is going to be a little bit of selling of the houses. I'm excited for the buyers because this is really buyer season.
Yes, it is.
Really,
It is. Yeah.
interest rates have dropped a little bit, and buyers are coming back to the market. But this is their time to shine, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the app, and that's really my focus, to be
The
honest.
app,
Those
yeah.
things, and then personally, like I'll be 52 this year, so I want to.
You don't look it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, like, getting in the best shape of my life, those are just my 3 goals.
Yeah.
I tend to not overwhelm myself with a bunch of like goals and just pick 3 things and work towards those.
Yeah. We're now in our group, we're reading the book 10x is easier than 2x, and really kind of dissecting that book. By Dan Sullivan, it's really kind of made me, because before you have so many things you want to do, like so many things you want to do, and now it's just, the podcast, my YouTube channel for clients, and those are like my main 2 focus, like just getting my production there and then the podcast, not just having a whole bunch of different goals, just really simplifying it, so.
If you focus on your purpose, you don't have to write money goals either.
Yeah,
money will come. You can have an idea in your mind.
It will come.
Focus on the purpose, and it'll come.
Yeah, 100%, and just try to be the best at what you do. Yeah, it definitely will come. It definitely
Absolutely.
will come.
And I got a little fire under my belt because there was a company that...
Okay, I want to hear it. What?
There's a company that launched. I pitched to them in 2024 my idea for the buyer side of the app.
Okay.
And they actually launched it through AI using my... So that put a fire underneath my belt where I'm like, hold up, y'all.
Wow.
Literally, I'm going to just be focused on getting the app done.
So there's a buyer and seller side to it, because you can do it in both, or just the buyer side is where you can help people in multiple areas.
So Partner Pro is for us as realtors, and then there's I Write Offers. That is for the client specifically who doesn't want to work with us. They want to work on their own. Because you have buyers who are like, I can find my own house, I can do my own thing. So that's for them. So I pitched that idea to someone, and that person, I think, shared it because they used my pitch deck verbatim.
Huh. Well, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They sold it.
So, but it's okay. That actually is God. Well, God will say, hey, I gave you a runway, and if you don't hit that runway, I'm going to put some fire.
Right,
and he just gave me a little fire.
Yeah, he does that.
He put some hot sauce in my pants.
Yeah, he does that.
Yeah.
One advice that you could give, what's one advice you could give to agents in 2026 to level up in their business in regards to, attracting the type of clients they want? What's like because I think you do a really good job at that with your branding, just you naturally being you with teaching, but what's really one good advice you can give real estate agents to help them attract more business in 2026? Because a lot of agents, fortunately, I did pretty good in 2025. I didn't do what I wanted to do, but that was, I think, from the past branding. Like, you know what I mean? People have seen it in the past, and so they knew who they want to talk to. But I'm just curious to see what advice you want to give realtors.
Authenticity. Be yourself.
Yeah.
So many of us in this business, we see these super agents, and we want to go dress like them, be like them, try to talk like them. And the people that know us and want to do business with us will gravitate to us.
Yeah.
If, like for me, I'm a teacher. I can't go be the anybody else. I can be who I am. So find your lane, find your strength, and operate in that. So if that's teaching, if that's showing properties the way that you show them, because you do an amazing job doing that, do that, right?
Yeah.
But be yourself and allow your, I just think you should just allow yourself to be who you are.
Yeah.
And your tribe will find you.
They will, yeah.
Because I didn't start with teaching content. I started my first video with food stamps to homeownership. And I told my journey of how I stood in a food stamp line.
Yeah, I had
that. As a real estate agent.
I had that as one of the. You know what? I want you to, because I had that actually as one of the questions. But I'm glad you went there, because I would love for you to compound that, because from watching our other podcasts, they probably familiar with my story. But I definitely want you to go more into that so people can, see that hey, this is what you see now, and it is all glamorous and everything. But we definitely want to hear the struggle story about how you got here. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was in 2008.
Yeah.
The market, as you know, it
Yep.
had tanked during that time.
Yeah.
The negam loans, everything, that whole market crashed. And again, I was like American Express, everywhere you want to be. I was in Miami, Vegas, LA, baby. I was everywhere, okay? And so I was spending as it was coming in, I was spending it just as quickly. And I mean, first class, driving Bentleys. And I'm talking, I'm not saying I bought them. I was renting for $5,000 a pop for a few days.
Yeah.
I was very irresponsible.
Been there.
So when the market tanked, I didn't have a safety net. I didn't have anything in the savings. I didn't have anything for taxes. And I had 4 houses at the time. And my tenants stopped paying rent. So
All 4.
And I had $11,000 a month in mortgages. I could not keep up.
Yeah.
So I had to file bankruptcy, foreclose on all of those properties, and I had a 3-month-old son at the time. And so it was a day I had $10 in my pocket. That's all I had. And I went to go buy him formula. And when I went to go buy him formula, this lady is walking in with her shopping cart, and she's laughing with her kids, and I knew that she could pay for her groceries. I only had $10 in my pocket. And I said, I'm standing in the food stamp line, and I'm looking at the formula. It was $15 and $12. And I started to cry, and then my phone rings. And it's my sister, hey, girl. And I was like, hey, and she could hear it in my voice. And she said, what's going on with you? And I said, Aiden needs formula, and I don't have any money. And she said, go get on food stamps. I've had money all my life, great credit all my life. I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. I'm like, food stamps, where do you go? Where do you do that?
Yeah.
And then she said, go home and get your electric bill. And I said, well, I have a 15-day cutoff notice coming. And she said, go get it. And then she said, go get your bank statement. And I said, well, it's negative $200. I don't have anything in there. She said, go get it. So I go get all of those things, and I was married at the time, and my husband said, what are you doing? Because he was applying to be a police officer. And as a police officer, you can't have money issues.
Right.
But everything was in my name.
Okay. Right.
And so I go get all the stuff, and I looked at him, and I said, I don't think you realize where we really are. And I turned, and I walked out of the house, and I drive down to the food stamp place. And as I'm walking in, and I'm looking at all these people that I used to feel very sorry for, and now I am one of them. And I remember it was Mother's Day, and it felt like Christmas. So as I'm standing in the line with all of my paperwork, my sister shows up, and she helps me go through the process because I had never done it before. And the lady said, come to the side door. And I had never seen her take anyone to the side door. And I was thinking, oh, shoot, I ain't lying. I ain't do nothing.
I ain't do that, right.
Yeah. I'm like, this is legit, right?
Yeah.
And so she pulls me back, and she said, I'm going to give you emergency food stamps. It was $600. Wow. When I tell you that $600 felt like $1 million.
Yeah.
It was Christmas for me that day. It was Mother's Day, though.
I bet,
So I left there. I got the food stamps, and I left, and I went and got my son formula and everything. But it was in that moment, that humbling moment, that I realized that I had to do things differently. Yeah,
we've been there. I've definitely had humbling moments as well too when it came to money. No, I'm glad you shared that, because I think people need to know that. Like, I think a lot of times, especially in our industry, I see that people do a lot of comparing with other realtors, and I whenever I speak or at an event or in front of realtors, I always say, don't compare yourself to me or anybody, because sometimes people see the end product and they don't go, like, that's why I have my beginner videos. My beginner videos, to me, they're terrible. Like, they're terrible. They're using phones, the wackest cameras. Like, I'm trying to figure this thing out, right? But they look at the end product and they get sometimes discouraged, thinking like that's the way it has to be. But it's like, no, you don't need to be compared, because we all have our journey of where we've come from, and this is just the makeup of that, So
it was that video, though, that started my following.
Yeah.
Because people could relate to that. Because when they look at me, they think, oh, she ain't never been through nothing. She's beautiful, da-da-da-da-da.
100%.
But when they actually get to hear the story, I think that is what caught people's attention, and they started following. And they started seeing I'm actually teaching. I'm not just a cute face. I really want you to know this stuff.
Yeah. No, you you come across as that. Like, you really want individuals to know. It doesn't come across as whenever I do information content, I want to make sure I come across as like, I really want you to get this, because of course most people hear things, they're not going to do it anyway. We know, just the numbers wise, you got 1,000 people in there. If you get 10 people to do what you have to tell them to do, it's like amazing, But But no, you do have that gift of letting, of kind of coming across as, I really want you to get this, and not just to build a brand. Like, I try to be conscious of that. Like, yes, we want to build a brand, but I want to do it very authentically and from the heart. Like, if you're looking to buy a house, I'm the person that you should to do it with, because I actually truly care about the deal, and willing to do what is necessary for the client. And I think I think we've gone away from that in our industry for a while, but I feel like through a lot of content I've been seeing, like we're getting back there, because of course a lot of realtors are quitting. I mean, I saw some of the numbers for last year, and it's kind of staggering, the amount of people that did not renew their license. So I'm really curious. They haven't been totally completed. So through like Association of Realtors. So they probably won't have the final numbers to the end of the month. Usually it's like the end of the month of January. They have the final numbers of how many people did not renew their license. So I know last year it was staggering. So I'm assuming this year it'll probably be the same, but we'll see. So that's very important. I think it's very, very important. Is there anything else you would want us to know? Like, what's a great final thought for our realtors before we end, that you want realtors to know? In regards to anything that you just kind of want realtors to know to keep them kind of motivated for 2026. Like I said, a lot of realtors had it rough. Even like, for instance, if a realtor used to close in even 50 mil and they do 20 mil, that's a hit. Like it's still a hit. For someone else, 20 mil is great. Like that's a great year. Or 10 to 3. It's still can be rough for realtors who are even doing well. What would just one final word to really encourage and motivate realtors in 2026? What would you like to give us?
Create content. If you do not create content, you will become null and void.
I love
create
it.
Content.
I love it. Yeah.
But more importantly, create content that's you, not someone else.
Yeah.
They'll come. Tell your story. Be authentic. Be okay with vulnerability. Vulnerability creates trust with your audience. So create content, because that's the new currency. That's the new open house. That's the new cold calling. Create content.
I love that you said it, because I say that's the new currency. Yeah, I do like that too. That's the new open house. Yeah, that's the content. New open house and new cold calling, baby. I love it. Well, thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Be sure to follow her. We will have her socials in descriptions. Thank you again. Thank you again for coming to the Collective Code.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you guys next time. Subscribe, like, comment, help the algorithm. Right? We're definitely trying to grow the channel, and share this with another realtor who you think would love to hear this information. Until next time.